drinks. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hello? Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns on the ones and twos back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Again, if you guys want to join the show, feel free to do so. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. No DeMornay Pierson-El quite yet, but we should be able to get a hold of him pretty quick here, and he will hop on the stream as always. And me and DeMornay, plenty of things to talk about. Obviously, the Super Bowl, there was the parade today. I'm not going to dive too much about some of the more unfortunate stories. Obviously, thoughts and prayers to those families, everyone infected with those shootings that happened with that parade. But I do want to dive into some of the details about the game. Obviously, with that said, no, we'll kind of leave it there. But of course, thoughts and prayers. And anyone out there, just take a moment, reflect on it, and go ahead and give it up to KC for anyone who was affected by that. But with that being said, while we wait for DeMornay Pierson-El, I'll go ahead and just kind of open up the show and my thoughts on the Super Bowl. It once again should just be a scary feeling if you're not a Chiefs fan, because I think a lot of people could go into this year and consider this is what a down year looks like for the Kansas City Chiefs. And a down year for the Kansas City Chiefs is a Super Bowl. You think 2 years back and they trade away arguably one of the best wide receivers we've seen in decades in Tyreek Hill. And he goes elsewhere. He's a dominant player over on the Dolphins. There's no question about it. What the Chiefs could have done with Tyreek Hill definitely would have been a big part. But they're able to 2 years ago move on from Tyreek Hill and not sweat it. It's one of those moves that you would think you have such a dynamic player in Tyreek Hill, a guy that is a complete game breaker, that we're seeing what he can be on that Miami Dolphins team. Chiefs willing to move on what could have been a moment people could reflect on and really look critically at the Chiefs for doing so. Instead, the Chiefs go back and get a couple Super Bowls out of it. So this all just speaks to what Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have done. Travis Kelce, obviously throw him in the mix, Pacheco, and obviously Chris Jones on the defense, you'd give him some credit. But as a whole, when you're looking at that whole roster for the Kansas City Chiefs, it just speaks to how impressive Patrick Mahomes has been, because he hasn't been, with these eye-catching numbers. You look at the last game, again, Patrick Mahomes, he didn't play a bad game, but if we just quick go to his player stats here for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 34 for 46, 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. That interception at one point in time felt like it was going to be extremely costly, but nonetheless, they find a way to pull through anyways. But again, wasn't the most electric performance. You like the completion rating. But again, he was just playing a safe, composed game. You felt like in the first half, you heard Romo mention it, he was kind of rushing a little bit. In that second half, you just see it. When that guy has time on the clock and you fail to execute and get 7, he's going to go and find a way to go ahead and end that game. With that being said, though, it looks like we do got DeMornay Pierson-El in the stream. So DeMornay, we'll bring him in here. DeMornay, I was talking about the Super Bowl, of course, but nonetheless, how's it going, man?
I hate the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. Could you see it coming? Especially at the end there. It was soon as the Chiefs got the ball, and I want to spend more time on that, but as soon as the Chiefs got the ball in overtime and they needed a touchdown, I could have told you right then and there it's over.
I wouldn't necessarily say, did you see it coming? Because, I mean, the right guard had a missed assignment, had a blown assignment.
Yeah.
If he does, even if he gets, bull rushed and falls flat, I think, the quarterback still either hits Jawan or Ayuk, who made their best corner fall for a wide open touchdown.
Yeah.
So is that really, Brock's fault? No. He did enough to win. It was just a missed assignment by an offensive lineman that caused, Purdy to kind of get things out of there.
Yeah, he just didn't quite have that footing behind it. It looked exactly what happened to Josh Allen in their game versus the Chiefs. He gets a break at that line. He can't get his foot underneath him. He can't launch off of it, and he short arms it. And that's the touchdown they needed. It's just, it seems to be, I don't want to say it's luck, although obviously luck plays a little bit of part of it. But anytime you're dealing with the Kansas City Chiefs, and you do have to give their defense a lot of credit. It was pretty obvious. They're just going to blitz and blitz and blitz. They weren't going to change it up at all. And it was up to you to figure out where the pressure is coming from. And I was surprised by the 49ers' ability to really pick up that blitz.
I mean, you got one job. You give a team, 3 weeks to analyze and figure out or get an understanding of where it's going to be coming from or potentially and everything like that. So, I expected him to do a well job with handling stuff. It just sucks because, I mean, the 49ers were rolling. It sucks that Greenlaw got hurt and went out. I don't know if that, is a big piece of it.
I think that moves. He was playing so well, and as soon as he went out, they were targeting the backup. That's when Travis Kelce
which is funny because I know Orrin. Like, I played against him in high school, so like I know him very well. He's a versatile athlete. Now, he may be not Greenlaw, but like he's not, he's not terrible.
That's the thing. I just think that's tough shoes to fill. It's a Super Bowl,
for sure,
big moment. Everyone's expecting to have Greenlaw. It's just a tough situation for him to be put in, and they obviously went and attacked him. Yeah, fresh legs in there. He's got a tough assignment. Obviously, you understand what the Chiefs are going to do with Kelce.
Exactly.
Trying to play coverage, trying to play man. He didn't play terrible, but it was clear that's who they were going to pick on.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, they got enough breathing room, and the 49ers just didn't. I'm not saying that they didn't keep the gas on the pedal because I believe they did. Just their second half adjustments, I don't think panned out kind of like how they needed them to. McCaffrey didn't have too much of a strong second half, which hurt them. You can put it on Purdy, you can put it on the defense and everything like that. That team looked completely different in the second half. And so whatever they were doing, I don't know if they didn't get, McCaffrey involved enough on the outside, giving him the ball, like, in space and having him, like, carve up the game like that. But his presence wasn't as felt as it was in the first half.
Yeah, like you said, he had a decent amount of carries. He didn't really take off for a decent chunk run until later in the game. I think it was about that third quarter before you really saw him get there. But yeah, only 22 carries, decent amount, but only 80 yards, 3.6 average. It did feel a little bit Ravens-esque, where I did rewatch that game again yesterday, and there was quite a few moments where I'm like, man, the 49ers can really put this thing away if they stick to running the ball. And it's just like the Ravens, they didn't do it. I thought, like you said, Christian McCaffrey wasn't the best game, but if you're getting 3.6 yards per carry, you'll take it. That's fine.
Eat the clock up, keep Mahomes on the sideline, like as long as you can, honestly, I think, even when Brady was playing in his earlier years, Brady didn't leave enough time for him to even do too much. Like that has to be the goal to, okay, well, if you kind of got to beat him, you got to figure out about, not getting him on the field. So, make your 4-minute, offense, stall, hike the ball when it's, 3 seconds left or 2 seconds left, on the clock and everything. I mean, you got, the offensive MVP behind you, you got Kittle and this and that. So, you make it an ugly game. That's fine. And, it just they just, ran out of steam per se. And I wasn't mad at them, getting the ball first, they were moving the ball. They did things, like I said, one missed assignment by offensive lineman, and that game might go to double overtime. And I don't know if the Chiefs had that in them. I do know that.
I do want to talk about overtime, but I do want to talk about what you're saying, because I think you're right. You just can't give Mahomes the ball. Mahomes, Andy Reid and company, they have proven to be deadly. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this stat popping around. If you haven't, you got anything else you want to share, 402-464-5685. But when it comes to those do or die drives, those drives where, so if the team has the offense and they need to score to at least tie it or win the game. So they're down, they need 3 points or 7 to tie or win it. Patrick Mahomes is 7 for 7 in those situations to go ahead and get the points to push into OT or just straight up win the game. Tom Brady, 5 for 11. Drew Brees, 3 for 6. So Mahomes.
So does that include the time where the Bengals did beat them?
For the Joe Burrow Bengals? No, because I think with the time left, I think the Bengals actually got the ball back last, right? Because didn't the Bengals get a shot with the ball It wasn't the Chiefs got the last drive. The Bengals actually got some time with the clock left. Well, we can go back and look, but I want to say the Bengals actually got the last one. The Chiefs didn't get that last possession.
Okay.
Going back to that Bengals. And that was kind of that Joe Burrow moment where everyone's like, oh, I think Joe Burrow just matched Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that overtime. Because first things first, I do disagree with you. I think that's insane. I shouldn't say insane. I get the mindset. Their defense is looking tired. And you want to take advantage of that defense because they're on their hands and knees. You could tell they're not as deep. Your defense also looking a little bit worn out. We'll give our defense some time to rest. But at the same time, it felt like they're looking too far ahead because in his press conference, his argument is if we score, I'm expecting Mahomes to already score. That gives us the third and final possession. I don't even like that. I think you go ahead, you play defense, and then if they score, you already know I got 4 downs to play with. You're not guessing. You're not taking anything.
Who was on defense before it went to overtime? Was the Chiefs on the 49ers was on defense? Correct?
No, because they Patrick Mahomes, yes, he got it. So 49ers were on defense.
So
they got the field goal to push it to OT.
I understand the logic of that to give your defense a break. That way, the defense that you like, if they put, Mahomes on offense first against a tired defense, and if they go score, their defense has a longer break. They caught their breath. Now all we got to do is sell out for 4 plays and it's over. So I get them trying to take advantage of the defense. Like I'm not mad at that decision. I like it. When looking at that, it's just that when the Chiefs got the ball back last, it looked like they're probably best drive of the whole entire game.
Yeah,
they were going fast, they were moving, it didn't matter. Right side, left side, check down. If you got to them, if you made them like they moved the ball way too quickly down the field, and it bothered. The last drive going into OT and the first and their final drive in OT. So I'm not mad at his logic of it. You gave your defense, a chance with, okay, they might come with this. You can coach them up a little bit. They got, more rest and everything like that. And you put your best foot forward. Like I said, other than a missed assignment by the offensive guard, I mean, it's 2 touchdowns and we go to second overtime and we don't know who wins.
Yeah, you can argue both ways. I'm still going to stick to. I think if you go ahead and you defend, you take less chance. You know exactly what you need. You leave the possibilities kind of out of it. You know exactly what you need on offense. You get that 4th down. You don't have to play the guessing game. Should I take the field goal? Should I go for the touchdown? You can kind of like what you see Dan Campbell do because he never wants to punt the ball. He uses his 4th down all the time, and it can be really advantageous when you're planning on that 4th down. So there's rhyme and reason, but I do think that was the example. I don't think anyone's going to call him an idiot for it, but I think if this happens again, now people are like, we saw the example. You should always take the ball. Or, excuse me, you should always play defense first. Yeah. I'm going to be very surprised to see that flip anywhere else. I was surprised to hear some of the 49ers players saying they weren't familiar with the rules.
I don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they not one guy because there's no way all those guys didn't know the rules. They literally say it before the overtime starts.
They changed the playoff rules last year.
Yeah.
So you're telling me in the most important part of the game, your operation, the coach didn't hint at anything, never talked about it. I'm not believing that excuse because they go over those rules and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even even after that, once overtime is stated and everything like that, the rules are reiterated on the sideline. You'll hear certain things and everything like that. So you may not be familiar with it, but you've heard it a few times before you got to before overtime happened. So I'm not buying that. It's a part of the game to plan for stuff like that. And you're telling me you're going into the most important game of the season and you don't know something. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm actually with you. I'm going to guess it's just bad journalism. I'm like, you can't tell me a team of NFL players in the Super Bowl didn't know what the rules were when the ref literally said them before you flip the coin. I was like, maybe you got one offhand comment. Sure, I can take that. But to say the team, like, let's get real here.
It's an offensive head coach.
Yeah.
They are very strict and they know about things like that. Like I'm not buying that whatsoever. Now, may a journalist, caught a frustrated player and asked them the same question in different ways to try and pull out and say something to get a title? Probably so.
That's what I think.
So I'm not, and I mean he didn't state who said it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not believing that, by any chance at all. Like I said, I mean, it was an unfortunate thing that they knew what it was. It was a good game.
You know what? We can't say that. It was a great game, and I do want to get to a couple on this context here, because I will say that first half, a lot of people were calling it a bit of a snoozer. I didn't think it was a bit of a snoozer. I was really entertained by the defenses going at it. I was impressed, especially watching the way both of those offenses have been playing up until that point. To see them come at an absolute standstill and those defenses kind of matching each other was really impressive. And then we talked about it. It did feel like the 49ers, I'm not going to blame it on injuries, but my Lord, the Greenlaw going out, wide receivers, the fact that Jennings at one point, I mean, if you think about it, I think if the 49ers go ahead and win this game, Jennings might have been the Super Bowl MVP, which would have been insane. 120-1 odds. Would have been, who would you throw in there other than Jennings? If the 49ers win it, it's going to be Jennings or special teams.
I would say Purdy.
Yeah, maybe Purdy. Let's look at Brock Purdy's stats here. 23 for 38. If Jennings gets a touchdown,
if Purdy throws a touchdown, one of those touchdowns, and they stopped him and everything like that, why would it not go to him?
I think if Jennings gets the second touchdown, it'd probably be Brock Purdy. But I'll be honest, it felt like the Jennings game because he was doing. It's not the guy that you would expect, and it's the same thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, you were seeing just a little bit of. I guess some people had Rice in there, but it was Pacheco, and then Travis Kelce. He had a big game, but it really wasn't towards the end. It was actually Hardman Jr. that kind of got him through the first half, along with Watson as well with three receptions. It was kind of the role players game. Before we go to break here, I do want to get to a couple of these. We got Hayden says, is DPE living back in Lincoln? Glad to hear him on the radio. Shout out to Hayden, not in Lincoln, but he is always streaming in nonetheless for the show on 93.7 The Ticket, Don't Punt Hour. And then we got Unknown Texter. Let's not pretend the NFL doesn't want another dynasty. It sells jerseys and it's great for PR. 80s Bears, 90s 49ers, Cowboys 2000s, New England 2010s, New England, now the Chiefs. It's not a coincidence, but
people
congrats to the champs.
People got to stop with that. Like,
you know what I think it is? I think it's Patrick Mahomes is just an incredible quarterback.
Like, y'all got to say they want that. Like, you got to. So you telling me 53 of their players are okay with getting to that point and losing like that? Like, yeah, that's fine. We're okay with that. Who likes losing? Who agrees to losing? Come on now, like that's like stop that. Come on, like let's keep it real.
Yeah, I think you just have Patrick Mahomes, and he's just proven it over and over again. It's ridiculous.
It's hard to get against him.
I have to have this argument myself. The fact that we talk, I get it. It's a regular season award, but I was big on it. Lamar is the MVP. I was putting my fist on the table for it. We get to the playoffs. It's Mahomes. There's no question that if you want to win a Super Bowl right now, it's probably Mahomes you want at the helm for his ability to just control the game, his ability to be in clutch drives and just finish it. And even those plays we talk about with Brock Purdy, how it's not necessarily his fault, but it did feel like there's a few times last night where he's young, so I get it, but he could have called his number. You know, he didn't really take off and scramble to pick up 15 yards to just try to get that first down like you're seeing Mahomes. But again, it wasn't a bad game. But there were some times where he just wasn't at that level yet, like Mahomes is, where Mahomes would just call his own number, either on a run or an audible. He sees something he likes, where Brock Purdy's still kind of in that phase where it feels like, I'm going to trust the coach on this one. We'll take a timeout.
He's in year 2.
Exactly.
In year 2, he got to the Super Bowl. Regardless of game manager, game changer, whatever. The team, like, he does what he's supposed to. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL. You can be mad at how he gets the job done, but at the end of the day, he's getting the job done. Whether you like the way how he's doing it or he's not, or you don't like the way he's doing it. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and that's being a number one quarterback for an organization and taking them places where, you know, they weren't at before.
He's going to be scary. I will say this, he's going to be really scary the more comfortable he gets, because I will again say yesterday played a good game. I didn't think he played a bad game at all.
He didn't play bad. He played well enough to win.
100%.
They played well enough to win.
He needed one more big play. I will say this, he didn't play well enough because you're going against Mahomes. You're going to have to pull a rabbit out of your, you know what, somewhere. And he just didn't quite have that. He did have that nice throw to George Kittle to get that first down. And what was a really ballsy going for it on fourth down play. Incredible throw on what was overall a really quiet night for Kittle. I thought that was a good play from Brock Purdy. But he just needed one big play in there to kind of try to steer things away from overtime, which is a lot to ask. But I'll tell you this, when that guy gets comfortable and he is just more on the fly reading defenses and the coaching staff's got complete trust and that communication's almost telepathic, that's going to be a scary guy if he stays healthy. And I think that's pretty well proven at this point. One more from unknown texter, and then we'll get out of here for our first break. 7809, a good amount of Purdy's incompletions were great throwaways. Again, adding that to who would have won the MVP if the 49ers would have went and won it. Probably be Brock Purdy. It could have been Christian McCaffrey. Maybe if he gets for one more touchdown, or maybe Jennings if he has another big reception to go ahead and win the game. That'd be the only way I'd see it. But nonetheless, we'll go ahead, throw it to our first break here on the Don't Punt Hour. I'm Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host as always, DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. Don't go anywhere. We got a couple more segments on the other side.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting free workout for athletes and fitness enthusiasts who want the most out of their workout. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting partly sunny skies and more mild weather. We'll see an afternoon high around 59. Tonight, mainly cloudy and breezy, the low around 29. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies will return, but cooler weather will too. We'll see a high around 43. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cutler for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back into the Don't Punt Hour. I am Harrison Arns on the ones and twos back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. And again, you guys have been great so far. If you want to join the show, 402-464-5685. That is that Starter Heyman text line. Streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. If you want to put a face to the voice, great way to do so. But nonetheless, let's keep the conversation rolling. First time, our chance anyways, to talk about Super Bowl Sunday. The 49ers fall to the Kansas City Chiefs 25-22. And what was a great overtime game, but there's still a few storylines in that one that we have to get to. Travis Kelce, when he came up to Andy Reid, I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. I thought Andy Reid handled it pretty well. He didn't make a big deal out of it, kind of kept him in shape, but I've never seen anything like that. And just what are your thoughts on it? Was that quite a bit of overreaction, or do you think people on the outside are freaking out a little bit too much?
No, it wasn't an overreaction. That's unacceptable. I mean, he's came out and said it. It's different if you bumping somebody playfully and whatnot in that type of situation. I understand, you mad. I understand you frustrated, about how the game's going and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you're a professional. You got to keep your composure and understand, the hierarchy of stuff. That's not cool to do. And I would feel completely different about it if he came out and was running from it but he came out and said he was in the wrong. So I mean, I'm not finna beat a dead horse, but it is completely unacceptable. If it was Antonio Brown, oh my God, it would be if somebody else did that or anything like that, it would be blown completely out of the water and whatnot. So I mean, I think how they handling it is exactly, how they should. They're not, doing too much or anything like that. That's not cool at all.
Yeah, and I think you're right. He got ahead of it, which was very smart of him, because you got to, I mean, the Taylor Swift thing, enough people didn't like the guy already for things political or dating wise, whether it's right or wrong. He definitely had a haters group behind it. So for him to get in front of it, of course, Andy Reid being the veteran he is, and good, you know what, Andy Reid, that's one of those few times being 300 plus pounds, that guy wasn't moving. It would have been a lot worse if that would have fell.
He moved a little bit. Now, if he would have knocked him over, it'd have been something serious.
But if that's Shanahan, he's over. He's hitting the deck, and that's a bigger story.
I don't know. Shanahan might have grabbed his face mask and headbutted him back or something. I feel like Shanahan's one of those type of guys. He's just kind of psycho like that.
Yeah, I know D'Amico Ryans wouldn't be having any of it. That'd be an interesting encounter. Or Dan Campbell, if you try pulling that on Dan Campbell, good luck. That's going to be an immediate.
He's not playing the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He's gonna make an example. Like Dan Campbell might be the closest thing to like Thor or Hulk or something. Like he's not playing. He's not playing like that. No, nobody wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and he's that tight end too, so he's got that in him. But I do want to ask, since we're kind of on this conversation, and I do want to talk to you about another quote unquote dynasty. It's been debated whether this team's a dynasty or not, but the Kansas City Chiefs, is this team a full-on dynasty now? Because that is a different definition for about everyone out there who's described a dynasty. Some people say it's 10 years and at least winning 5 rings. Some people will be three rings in a 5-year span. What to you is a dynasty, and are this Kansas City Chiefs squad, are they encroaching on what you would consider a dynasty? Because I think of obviously Tom Brady. That was the last dynasty we were in.
How many Super Bowls did Tom Brady win in a row?
In a row, he's got at least never got the 3-peat, right? Just 2 in a row max. Let me just go year by year here.
I would say 3 in a span of 5 years. Yeah.
3 in a span of 5 years. So Tom Brady's had 2 dynasties, 02, 04, 05. He's won 15, 17, 19, and 21. He's got all those years as well. So again, 6 years, but 4 in 6. So Tom Brady alone.
If they're giving the Warriors a dynasty claim after what they did and whatnot, then yeah, for sure.
See, that's where I ask, because I don't know if the Warriors really count as a dynasty.
Why?
It's to me a dynasty. You got to be close to past 5 years. Like even the Tom Brady, that's 6, but that is total 9 rings that he's gathered, and since starting with 02, and his last one had been 21, and he picks up 3 early, has a little bit of 4-year hiatus, and then picks up 4 more in a span of 6 years. And we look at Warriors.
I would say, because everybody's going to try and make it to where it is not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to do what he's done, and he's done it relatively close. In a short, not necessarily in a short period of time, but in a recent period of time. People, I think, are just mad at the situation and don't want to give it to him just because he's becoming the villain now of the NFL. But I mean, a spade is a spade. I think it is. Whether you want to flip it or look at it one way or the other, like you can't deny it.
Okay, so let's break this down. I'm get what you're saying here, but let's go ahead and do a deep dive and get the real numbers on this Warriors team. So 14-15 season, that is the first year they actually break into it and become an NBA champion. 2012-13 season, that's when they're finally getting into that Western Conference semifinals. But 14-15 season, they're NBA champions. Next year, they lose. This is kind of the Cavs-Warriors area. So 16 season, they lose. They win it in 17. They win it in 18. So that's 3 in 4 years. That is, to me, it's just such a small window. To me, a dynasty's got to be 3 in 4 years is a chapter to me, not a dynasty.
So okay, where were they at that last year?
So then they lost. So 18-19, they lose. 19-20, they don't even make it to the playoffs. 2021, they lose in the Western Conference playoffs, and they don't get back till that 21-22 season. So they take a 3-year hiatus to get ring number 4. So they got 4 rings in a 9-year span.
So who are your true dynasties in either league?
Jordan. I think Jordan's because 95, 96, 97. And all,
I mean, he has 2 3-peats. So I mean,
yeah, he's going to be a dynasty. To me, dynasties are rare. Like it's not a thing where we can just point out, like, even though the Warriors had a good run, because it's so short-lived, to me it doesn't feel like a dynasty.
I'm thinking 3 in a row. Yes,
3 in a row just qualifies you as a dynasty.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
But 3 and 5 years is I can see that's a fair argument. Originally, what my personal opinion is, 3 in a row is a dynasty, period. There's not many, organizations that can say, that they had 3 in a row. I think the Lakers won it with Shaq and Kobe. I think they got 3 in a row, didn't they? If I'm not
Shaq and Kobe?
I think so.
Yeah. Ooh, 1, 2, 3 in a row. Shaq and Kobe. I don't know if it's in a row. Let's double check it. Shaq and Kobe. I mean, we do have some texters saying Shaq and Kobe, is that a dynasty? The San Antonio Spurs, is that a dynasty? With Tim Duncan and the Spurs, I think so, yes. That's to me is a dynasty. I'd have to go back and do the years, how long that lasted. But those guys were absolutely dominant forever. And even if they weren't winning a ring every year, to me, it's not how many you win. It's important, but are you one of those top teams every single year where if you're not winning it, someone had to go through you to get that ring? And those are arguments I can kind of understand. But you know what? This is good to go.
What you just saying that with having to go through you. I mean, in the past 5 years, it's had to go through the Chiefs.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow, he went through the Chiefs, but they didn't even win the Super Bowl. It was another team that won the Super Bowl. So the Bengals,
discredits it. That discredits it.
No, but it doesn't. To me, it makes me feel like the Chiefs are right there at this definition. And that's why I'm asking it. Because 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls, you're coming away with more Super Bowls than you are walking away from them. Maybe 5 is that breaking point. 3 in a row feels like it's just a really good team in a short time period. But a dynasty feels like it's got to be a 10-year period where you're dominant and you're at least walking away with 3 to 4 championships. So we'll throw it to break here. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to get some of these texters. Shaq and Kobe. We'll look at Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili.
We gotta wait 5 more years to see if we gotta wait 5 more years to say it's a dynasty.
Well, I mean, if he wins next year as well, and he's already got 5 rings, at some point, you just gotta. Well, is dynasty time or is dynasty rings? It's a combination of the both.
It has to equal out, I feel like.
Let me think about this. I got my head spinning now as I'm trying to break down the own definition. 402-464-5685. You guys tell me, what is the definition of a dynasty? Is it rings? Is it rings within a timetable? How big is that timetable? Because again, this one is always debated, and I already changed my mind on it like in the middle of talking about it. So again, feel free, chime in. We'll throw it to break here. I'll do some research on Kobe Bryant, on those Spurs rosters, and we'll talk a little bit more dynasties, because what I did want to ask about, and we'll have time to talk about it, there was a chance LeBron James and Steph Curry to play together on the Warriors.
No.
It was between the owners. It was the ultimate, if shooter's going to shoot, you're going to take the chance. But it was real talk. Steph Curry, LeBron James, the 2 owners for the Lakers and the Warriors, they're real talks before the trade deadline. Can we get these guys on the same roster? Obviously, It didn't happen. It fell through. But that certainly would have been an opportunity for that dynasty. With that being said, though, we'll go ahead. We'll throw it to break here. We'll have one more segment on the other side for the Don't Punt Hour. And then, of course, we'll have What's Brewing with Chance of Brewington. He'll go from 8 to 9 p.m. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
I could write a commercial telling you how great waffle weekends are at the chocolate season. Or I could just have Rico read you the menu.
Banana Nutella. Nutella topped Belgian waffle with homemade whipped cream, chocolate chips, and freshly sliced bananas. Baconator. Buttermilk waffle with bacon slices tucked inside, topped with salted whipped butter, caramelized pecans, and pure maple syrup.
Waffle weekend brunches at the chocolate season.
PB&J.
40th and Old Cheney or online at thechocolateseason.com.
Ever felt judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Demorne Pierson-El.
All right, we're back in with Don't Punt Hour. I am Harrison Arns on the ones and twos back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Before we went to break, we were talking dynasties. I got my own head spinning here, as well as the Sardi Hammond text line, 402-464-5685. Mississippi Mud Dog. He goes, the Chiefs are a dynasty. I don't even like them, but they are. They've been there for like 5 or 6 straight AFC title games and have 3 Super Bowls. I've come up with my definitions now. I
got mine.
Okay, I think what it needs to be, I think you need 3 championships.
Minimum.
And it's got to be within a span of 5 years. 5-year span or 6. I can even go 6. We'll go 6-year span. You can go 500. And at any point, you can't be outclassed. You can't go from championship to we're not even making the playoffs. this year because the dynasty's got to stay strong throughout the entire thing. And then the other question is, by definition, a dynasty is the quote, if we're going to translate to sports, the number one guy, the successor takes part and the dynasty still continues. So does a dynasty consist of the same core, or is a dynasty a core that is winning and then a new core comes in to replace it and the dynasty continues in strength?
I'm going to start off with what I think. I think in the next 2 years, they can answer necessarily, is that a dynasty or not? I think by the time it gets to in 7 years, you have in 7 years, if you have 3 to 4 rings and are dominating, I'm cool with it.
So Kobe, Shaq, 2001, and then 02, they get 3 in a row. Dynasty, 3 years, condensed.
How were they the next 2 years? How were they the next 2 years after that? Because
I know they made an appearance in 04. 2003. I don't.
We'll get to them. We get off. We'll get to them because we going.
Yeah. I'm gonna put them in there because they got 3 rings in 3 years. They were dominant, even in those 5-year span. I'm gonna put those guys dynasty.
Well,
for sure.
I'm saying in over a period of time that passes 5 years. Me personally, I'm saying 7.
7.
I'm saying in a 7-year span. This is my definition. I'm not saying this is what everybody else should think. But I think in a span of 7 years, absolute dominance. At least minimum 3 rings. If you don't got 3 rings on the table, I don't want to hear it. Oh, well, we got a ring or 2. No. No.
In the 7-year period.
In a 7-year period.
Okay.
So they're knocking on the door. We'll see if they continue down that path, because that's not a word or a term that you throw around that you want to be made easy to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be some level of difficulty, and the difficulty in that is the length of period of the time of how long you can sustain it. So I think 7. If you sustain dominance 7 years, you get 3-4 rings in a 7-year period.
That's hard to argue with.
I can't say anything. And that's not to say, okay, the other years, were you in the Super Bowl? Did you lose it? Did you get to the AFC Championship? So there's other things that come with that. Okay, they may have not won the Super Bowl, but they got an AFC Championship out of it. They got 5 to 7 AFC Championships to go along with that. That's a period of dominance. And that's just what it is for me. Now, as far as a core, or does a new core determine that? I feel like there has to be a few core players that are there.
Yep. And this text right here, I want to say this is a good summary, and this is kind of talking about how do you want to break down the definition. Unknown texture 4424.
Put your name in it.
What's that?
So tell them to put their name in it. Stop doing the unknown.
4424. Put your name next to it. We did have Mississippi Mundog earlier, Hayden earlier, but we got a couple unknown texters. You want to put your name in there, I'll update it. But 4424, they sum it up great. The debate is rings or complete body of work over a sustained amount of time. And he gives some examples. He says Troy Aikman, Cowboys dynasty, 3 rings. Joe Montana, 49ers dynasty, 4 rings. Terry Bradshaw, Steelers, 4 rings. Tom Brady, New England, 6 plus 1 with Tampa. Patrick Mahomes, who knows how long, plus 3 rings.
But was Tampa a dynasty though? He won 1 ring. So that's
like an individual.
Yeah,
that's like more individual dynasty kind of towards. And this is where, again, it gets confusing because I think you just have to scrap the actual definition of a dynasty because it's not about the successor. It's that core group of individuals and how do they continue to look on in further years. Because I don't think I'm blanking on a team. Think of a dynasty that had a backup replace the number 1 guy because no one came in there and replaced Jordan. The dynasty, except for Jordan, he just came back, and that's how the dynasty restarted. Jordan came back. So I think it's got to be the same core guys
or at least like 3 or 4 in football, like maybe 4 to 6 core guys, your quarterback or your stars on defense or something like that. Like your faces of your organization that have stayed there for majority of their career or have only been with that team majority of their career.
So like Kelsey and Mahomes. That's kind of the core. Could have been Tyreek Hill.
They're knocking on the door. Like I said, give them another 2 years. If they put another Super Bowl in on that or 2 more Super Bowls in that, like you can't deny it. They're not, like I said, I think 2 more years and then you kind of reevaluate that question because he's in his prime. Like he's still coming from, not necessarily from the beginning of it, because I think he's only been in the league 7 years himself.
Yeah, I mean, same draft where
Trubisky.
Yep, Trubisky draft. Bears could have got him, and they got Trubisky instead. So, yeah, 7.
Yeah, so he's. I would say 2 years. I would say 2 years because you take one of the years away because his first year he's set. So really 6.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really play his first year. He took over.
He was behind Alex Smith.
He took over his second year. So I would say give him another 2 years, and then you can kind of like really debate that and put things to rest to where there's no gray area. It's either black or white.
Yeah. And, it's crazy, but you're kind of seeing it now, especially the timeline. If you're trying to compare him to Tom Brady, he is hitting a point where he's starting to get a little bit stride for stride. And this was a big year for him. So the time will tell. But, dude, we want to shout out Big Country 4424. That's your guy. So shout out Big Country for joining in on this show. And it's just going to be crazy to watch the Chiefs because, again, this was kind of quoted as a down year for the Chiefs. And they go out and win the whole damn thing. So the Chiefs, possibly, as we talked about it, a dynasty going forward. Time will tell. But don't go anywhere. That's going to wrap it up for the Don't Punt Hour. What's Brewing with Chance of Brewington up next. We'll talk to you in a little bit.